All right, it's 6:30, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very excited to bring this episode. If it's your first time tuning in, this is Confessions of a Mentored Man. Every episode, we're going to talk about a different aspect of mentorship. Today's topic comes out of a pretty recent story, something that just happened to me at a wedding. Today's topic is going to be 5 strategies for finding a mentor in post-grad life. And so where did this come out of? I was at a wedding this past weekend, and a friend of mine was sitting down, and she's recently graduating from dentistry school. And she was talking about how a lot of her peers and some of the folks that had graduated before her, they kind of had found mentors. They found people who were able to take them to the next stage in their, whether it be dentistry school, or she was able to find different people to work with her. And she knew what I was working on. She knows that I'm huge into mentorship and, really excited to start working with youth and young adults when it comes to mentorship. And so she posed the question and said, Amar, I'm getting ready to graduate and I don't feel like I have a mentor. I feel like, I don't have anybody who's going to help me out, help me get a job, or help me in this next stage of my life. And so we were talking about that, and I was like, it's a great question, because the dynamic changes from college to post-grad. The dynamic completely shifts. Why does it shift? So one of the biggest things we have to consider is when we're talking about someone to be your mentor, they are going to wind up being in your field, or they're going to wind up being in your interest. They're going to wind up having really the same core values of you. And also you guys have common goals. And so think about when you came out of college, or even if you were in the military. What's going on, Jared? And I see my fiance Leah is on here. Thanks. Think about when you came out of college. While you were still in school, you had clubs, you had your major, you had everyone that was of like mind. Let's talk about student government. So say you're into politics, you're into government realms. In student government, you are very much going to have people who have obviously been in student government longer than you. So you have maybe the VP or the president of the organization can take you under their wing, and they can teach you everything that they've been learning, everything that they've experienced. And so it's very easy in college. You have so many people around you that are right there in this close environment. And let's face it, the energy is a lot higher, right, in college. And so once you graduate, that dynamic isn't there anymore. You pretty much are left to fend for yourself, so to speak. And so once you leave that safe space, now you're in the wild, wild west, and you're saying, okay, who can I lean on here? Who do I know to trust? There aren't many people that I think are doing what I'm doing, which isn't true. You just have to really know where to look and how to go about it. So that's what we're talking about today. It's really 5 ways to be able to find a mentor in the post-grad life. So let's kick it off. Number 1, change your routine. I'm just as guilty of this, so please don't kill the messenger. Once we got to school, the classic routine is go to work, go to happy hour or the gym, whichever one is your vice. Go home, watch Netflix, rinse and repeat. We do it over and over again. And for the most part, our association isn't changing. It's the same 5, 6, 10, however many friends that we have throughout that entire time period. And so let me just go ahead and say that Drake led us down the wrong path talking about no new friends. If you really think no new friends is going to give you opportunities, I'd probably rethink that. And so think about it. Get out of your normal routine. If you take a particular way to work and you stop at the same gas station, it doesn't have to be astronomical. Change maybe where you get your gas. Maybe change the Starbucks that you go to. Change your routine when you get home. Maybe go take a walk in the park or something. But get around a variety of different people that when you engage them in conversation, you never know what opportunities come up. I literally met people who have invested in me just because I just decided to go to a park one day and was just talking about somebody's dog. And we wound up finding out that they've also ran nonprofits working with youth. No way I would have found that out if I took the same route home. So again, it doesn't have to be astronomical, but change your routine. Switch things up just a little bit. So that's number 1. Second one is, hey, what's going on, Cikle? I appreciate you tuning in on Instagram, man. Second one is Show passion and excitement. This is actually something that my fiance pointed out to me, is that uh, she hadn't really seen me show as much excitement or passion about a lot of other things, and still talking about mentorship. This is something that I'm super excited about. And there's a pretty cool anecdote that says, catch fire for your passion and people will come from miles to watch you burn. And it's so, so true. It's so true. I mean, this could be something completely random. You could have a coworker that's fired up about dogs. They could just be going nuts about their chihuahua and they got poodles. And literally, I guarantee you somebody else in that office is going to bring up, hey, the best vets to go to. Or, hey, here's the best dog parks. People automatically want to pour on to somebody who's just excited about life. And so if your thing is, let's just say your thing is finance, you're super excited to maybe, become a CPA, or you're super excited about starting your own practice, whatever it may be, talk about it with passion. Don't tune in and sort of turn in and say, I'm thinking about, nobody's going to want to help. Trust me, it is not, let's face it. If you and I did that about anything, it would deter people from listening to us. So have passion, have excitement for it. I can't tell you the amount of people that have literally just told me different youth groups to partner up with, or, hey, try this for your Instagram, and people want to help for those who are already excited. So again, we're not talking about something major, but up the ante of your energy level. It makes a huge, huge difference. Huge difference. So that's number 2. Again, the first one is change your routine. Second one is have passion and excitement. Third one, this is actually going to be very similar to what it was in college. Join organizations. There is literally, and if you Google this, which I did probably about a half an hour ago, Google professional organizations and watch the amount of lists that come up. I mean, everything from National Education Association, American Business Women's Association, American Society for Animal Science. I mean, you name it, there's probably one for people who like to fly kites. I don't know. There's probably endless organizations, but that's the same place that we started out in college, right? Having groups of people that have a similar interest. They've been in the organization longer than you, obviously. So you know what? They have something to offer. And you guys have a common goal. That's to grow in that niche. And so people are very, very likely to be able to help you and teach you everything they know. In that environment, you're not competing with someone. If it's a teacher, say you get into the education route, that teacher is part of that education association. They are not in competition with you of how much their class has, the better grades or whatever. They should be able to teach you everything they know, all the tricks of the trade. And so that's one of the things that I've noticed that's huge, very, very huge. Join professional organizations. For the networking alone is huge. It's everything. And it's not, we all heard this, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And actually, I'll add one onto that. My father always taught me, it's not just who you know, but it's what you've done for them. So once you become a part of these organizations, don't just go there expecting to take from it, add value to it, let people know you're here to add value and they will respond in kind. So that's number 3. Again, the first one is change your routine, switch things up a little bit, expose yourself to new people. Second one is going to be have passion and excitement. Again, I'm super pumped up to talk about mentorship because it literally is probably one of the biggest cornerstones of my life that has got me to where I am now. Third one, again, is join professional organizations. There are limitless organizations that are out there. Number 4, networking events. If you are in a metropolitan city or even if you're in the suburb, there is always going to be some kind of networking event that's within 20 minutes of you, hands down. I used to use meetups a lot. And if you're not familiar, go to meetup.com. Networking events, I think sometimes has this connotation of being boring and everyone is sitting around holding a drink in one hand with an ascot and a monocle, all stuck up. That is not the case. I went to so many different meetups that were, I'm in the cycling. So, we would go for a bike ride and then go to this barbecue place afterwards. And I met so many different people that had backgrounds that I could learn from. over something I was going to do anything anyway. I was going to go ride my bike. I went to one that was a lock picking and beer tasting meetup a couple years ago. And I wound up running into, at the time I was in law enforcement, I wound up meeting guys that were in law enforcement, and they were teaching me how they wound up transitioning to the next job in their career. And so you never know. Again, so it's not necessarily about this dogmatic view of networking events being what Hollywood has showed us. They could be a lot of fun. Oh my goodness, alumni tailgates. I think this past year during homecoming, this was my fiance's time coming with me over to College Park for homecoming. And I had to laugh because she thought that the alumni tailgate was going to be exactly what I described, right? She thought it was going to wind up being this stuck-up event where we're just sitting around in suits and ties. Man, we got there was beer tasting, there was photo booths. I mean, there's all this engaging stuff. It's a college campus. And I mean, it was a great time. And we wound up meeting people there that we knew, but then also wound up meeting people that I didn't know when I was in college, people who are currently going down the entrepreneurial route. Maryland just opened up their entrepreneurship center a couple of years ago. And so there's people that had came out of there. So I was learning from there. And so is that, yeah, she's commenting. For those who don't know why I just laughed, she's commenting because she thought it was going to be boring. But it was a great time, and both of us wound up expanding our networks. Both of us wound up learning more about our individual fields. So it was great. And so again, networking events do not have to be boring. If you can remember nothing else from this, they do not have to be boring. They are, again, if you use meetup.com or if you use whatever, they are usually over some kind of fun, engaging event. Man, I saw ones, for women that code, and I saw ones for hikers. There's all different kinds of meetups. So find your tribe and find somebody there who's done it longer than you. Again, just grow that relationship organically. If you're just tuning in, hey, Didi, see you just tuning in. Again, we're talking about the 5 strategies for finding a mentor post-grad life, because we know that dynamic changes a little bit. So first one we talked about is changing your routine. Second one is have some passion, have some excitement. People will automatically want to pour gasoline onto your fire. Number 3 is join professional organizations. Again, there is a organization for everything. I'm pretty sure there's a dog walking society of America, which is, I'm probably going to Google that afterwards just so I can check that out. I think it'd be pretty funny. Anyway, number 4 is networking events. Again, we're talking about just anything that has to do with your particular interest. Again, it does not have to be a boring, stuck-up suit and tie kind of event. Usually it's over something pretty fun. And the last one is volunteering. And when I say volunteering, I mean doing it within the scope of what you're looking to grow into. So if you are looking to grow into the nonprofit realm, let's just say specifically with humanitarian efforts, it's probably not a good idea to volunteer at the local vet. You know what I mean? So you probably will maybe want to volunteer at a, oh man, what's the name of the organization? It's So Others May Eat. Very much a organization that feeds a lot of the homeless in DC. And so let's say, for example, you want to get into humanitarian efforts and you want to get into service in that realm. A great place to volunteer. I guarantee you find people who not only started the organization there, but people who have been these legacy volunteer people who can point you in the right direction. They can teach you, hey, you know what? I did this to be able to expand my network from here. Really, really good avenue. Except that one came to my mind because I wound up volunteering with them about a year or so ago. And I met some other people who wanted to start their own business. So again, you never know where you're going to run into people. It could be your local church. There's all these different places to be able to volunteer. Work committees. There's always these special groups at work that people will get into. So that's an option. Again, if you want to go down the veterinarian route, animal shelters are a great place to volunteer. And if you want to get into journalism or if you want to get into broadcasting, volunteer at a radio station. So there's so many places. And I think it really centers around this theme of exposure. You're exposing yourself to different environments, to different people, and having that excitement. I tell you again, that's the only way that I was able to find people who were willing to invest in me, is because I got out of my normal shell. If all we do is go to work, commute, happy hour, go to the gym, go home, you're never going to get exposed to people who want to invest in you and ultimately somebody who can become your mentor. And so again, those are the 5 strategies to finding a mentor in the post-grad life. Definitely hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you pulled away something from it. If there was a particular point that was most helpful to you, drop it in the comments, please. And if you feel as though people in your circle can benefit from finding a mentor now that they've graduated a couple years out, or maybe, you know what, maybe you've been in your career 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and you're looking for a mentor and you're really not sure where to start, look at some of these options. So I hope that one of these has stood out to you, and I'd love to hear your feedback. And again, if you think somebody else can benefit from this, please feel free to share it. We will do this every single Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Next Thursday, we're actually going to talk about finding a mentor while you're still in college. Again, so we're going to talk about that dynamic and how you can really maximize that while you're still in school versus waiting until you graduate to be able to find somebody that can lead you. And so with that, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please follow me at Youth Path of Success. Again, our whole piece is to be able to provide mentorship for youth and young adults. Again, my name is Anwar Taylor. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you guys soon.